বিজয়ফুল আমাদের মুক্তিযুদ্ধ বিজয়ের প্রতীক। ডিসেম্বরের 1 থেকে 16 তারিখ প্রতিদিন বিজয় ফুল পড়ুন, বিজয়কে বুকে ধারণ করুন।
সবাইকে শুভেচ্ছা জানাচ্ছি আজকের বিজয় ফুলের একটা প্রোগ্রামে। আমি উপল, একটু ব্যতিক্রম ধর্মীর প্রোগ্রাম আজকে করব। আমার নাম উপল। আমাদের প্রোগ্রামটার নাম হচ্ছে উত্তরসূরিদের বিজয় ভাবনা, থটস অন ভিক্টরি অ্যান্ড দ্য নেক্সট জেনারেশন। সো you'll find out more about the program. প্রোগ্রামটা মাল্টিল্যাঙ্গুয়ালি হবে, বাইলিঙ্গুয়ালি হবে, বাংলা ইংলিশে। যারা আমাদের গেস্ট আছেন ওরা যেখানে যেভাবে স্বচ্ছন্দ বোধ করে সেভাবেই কথাগুলো হবে। আর এই প্রোগ্রামে আমরা একটু জানবো অ্যাবাউট বিজয় নিয়ে, বাংলাদেশ নিয়ে বা বিজয় ফুল নিয়ে, আমাদের নেক্সট জেনারেশন, পরবর্তী যে জেনারেশনটা আমাদের আছে বা তার পরবর্তী যারা আসবে তাদের কি চিন্তা ভাবনা, আমরা কিভাবে তাদেরকে আসলে বোঝাতে পারি, কিভাবে তাদেরকে ইন্সপায়ার করতে পারি, এবং এমন কি আছে যা আসলে তাদেরকে ওরা যেন এই ব্যাপারটাকে সামনে নিয়ে যেতে পারে। সো আমি আপনাদের মতামত নিব, যারা দর্শকরা আছেন অনেক দর্শকের মতামত আমি নিব। আমি চাইবো সবাই আপনারা যোগ দিবেন, সবাই কন্ট্রিবিউট করবেন। আমরা বাচ্চাদের কথা তো শুনবো, আর আমাদের সাথে প্যানেলে থাকবেন একজন স্কলার এই ব্যাপারে। তো উনিও কথা বলবেন, পরিচয় করে দিব কিছুক্ষণের মধ্যে আমাদের সবার সাথে। আর এই তো আপনাদের প্রোগ্রামগুলো, আপনাদের কমেন্টগুলো আমরা দেখবো, সেখান থেকে আমরা কিছু কিছু নিব। এই হলো আজকের প্রোগ্রামের পরিকল্পনা। 1 ঘন্টা থাকবে অনলি। আমাদের সাথে 4 জন গেস্ট আছে, একজন প্যানেল মেম্বার, আর আমি আছি উপল উপস্থাপনায়। তো একজন করে সবাইকে নিয়ে আসি। প্রথমে নিয়ে আসি আমাদের একজন গেস্ট। ওরা 2 বোন। ওরা এখানে কালচারালি অনেক অ্যাক্টিভ, এবং এখানে ওরা জন্ম, পড়াশোনা সবই এখানে। ওরা হচ্ছে অরণি এবং অদ্রিতা। অরণি, অদ্রিতা, তোমাদেরকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি আমি। তোমরা কি দেখতে পাচ্ছ?
হ্যাঁ, দেখতে পাচ্ছি।
ওকে, সবাইকে কিছু বলবে? একটু হ্যালো বলবে সবাইকে?
হ্যালো, আমার নাম অরণি। হ্যালো, আমার নাম অদ্রিতা।
আর অরণি, তুমি কোন ইয়ারে?
আমি 10 এ পড়ি।
ইয়ার 10 এ। আর অদ্রিতা?
ইয়ার 7।
ও, একজন মাত্র সেকেন্ডারি শুরু করছে, আরেকজন প্রায় সেকেন্ডারি শেষ করতে যাবে 1 বছরের মধ্যে। ওকে, এরপর আমাদের সাথে আছে আরেকজন রিয়ান।
Hi everyone.
Okay, Reean, people can hear you, they can see you on live. Do you want to tell us about a bit more about Reean? Who is Reean? What does he do?
My name is Jahan. I'm in year 10 and I go to St. Olave's Grammar School.
Okay. So are you brought up in this country?
Yeah, I was born in London, St. Thomas's Hospital, and I moved to Bromley near about 2012. And I've been living in this area for 7 years.
Right, so that means that your whole life has been in London, like the other Aroni and okay. The next guest that we have is Sadmaan Basher Rio. And if I can have Rio on the screen, please. Hello, Rio.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Rio. I'm 13 and I'm in year 8.
Okay, good to know. And Rio, are we all born, brought up, educated all in this country?
No, I was born in Bangladesh and I moved to this country when I was 2.
2 months?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, right. That's great. Okay, and the panel member that you have. So welcome you, all 4 of you. You are the main, our really, the main guest for today, and we do have a panel member, a scholar, who will talk to us about his journey, about his ideas, and you will have chance to ask him any questions, and we'll be asking you questions. So this program is very informal. We're having a discussion about Bangladesh and the victory. Yeah. So our panel member is Dr. Selim Jahan. So if I can ask Selim Jahan to be on the screen, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, I can see everyone. And as people are saying, I'm looking forward to an exciting 1 hour. And we shall have lots to talk about our own country, our heritage, our liberation war, and also the Bijoyphool, which is sponsoring today's program. So we have lots to cover, but we'll have an exciting time. We'll just interact and we'll share our ideas, talk to each other. And please feel free to ask any questions or express your opinion in any language. I mean, we have only binary choices, English or Bengali. So, but use them. Okay. So I look forward to talking to you.
Okay, great. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to be starting with a very, very easy and simple question. The session today is about the Bijoy. It's about the Victory Day and so on. So the first question I'm going to have, and anyone is allowed to give me the answer. Just put your hands up if you want to answer it. First question for you. What is Bijoy Dibosh? Who knows about it? Anyone can put your hand up.
Going once, going twice. Okay, good.
Is that Aroni? Yeah, go on, Aroni.
Yeah. Bijoy Dibosh is like the Liberation Day of Bangladesh. It's when, I guess the war kind of ended.
Okay, so that is the end of the war. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was on the 6th of December.
So Bijoy Dibosh is the day when the war was ended. Okay, right. Okay, good to know. We'll find out. Yes, you're right, though, but we'll find out a bit more. Can anyone tell me, hands up again, please, kind of quiz, when is the Bijoy Dibosh? Rio.
Isn't the Bijoy Dibosh on 16th December 1971?
Yes, it's 16th of December 1971. Spot on. Well done. Similar question, but it can be slightly different. Does anyone know about the Independence Day? Rio again. And Aroni. Aroni, come to you, Rio.
I know that it started on the 16th of March. 26th of March.
26th of March. It started 26th of March. Do you know the year?
1971.
It's on the same year than 1971, isn't it? So doing a quick maths, 26th of March 1971 was the Independence Day, and 16th of December 1971 is the Victory Day. Can anyone tell me how long was the duration then? So what is the time difference between them two? Adrita?
9 months.
It's about 9 months. Well done. Really good at maths. 9 months. And what do you think has actually happened within these 9 months? Look, we are not looking at the right or wrong answer. We just want to pull out what do you know, and what do you think actually Selim Nanavai is going to cover for this session today. Okay, so there is no right and wrong answer. Don't be scared. Just tell me, what do you think has happened within these 9 months? Reean, do you have any idea, boy?
I feel like within this 9-month period, the Bengali citizens have had like time to reflect on the inflict caused by the Pakistani troops,
Okay.
and just to commemorate the pain and suffering.
So
But
you're
it's
saying
essentially victory.
Okay, so you're saying that the 9 months was the duration that we
Yeah.
had our self-reflection, self-evaluation, and then we moved on, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you think? Okay, good. Okay, very good. Okay, you got some ideas
Yeah,
there.
Let me just intervene a little bit, listening to Reean. Actually, those 9 months were the time period when we fought the Pakistanis.
I'm going to come to this point.
So the whole question of reflection, thinking, casualing with them, and trying to push forward our rights, that actually preceded those 9 months. And for the last 25 years, between 1947 and 1971, there have been movements for our own emancipation, for autonomy, for establishing our rights. We tried different ways. We tried means through the parliament, means through movements, but nothing happened. So by 1971, it was very clear that we will not be able to coexist with Pakistan. I mean, the religion was the only binding force between the West Pakistan and East Pakistan. We had a different culture, we had different food, we had different ethnicity, and the discrimination, the exploitation, and the all the kinds of bad things that happened between 47 and 71. Bengalis realized that this is the time where we have to fight for our independence. No more autonomy, no more coexistence, but we have to establish our own land. So the time which preceded those 9 months was the time for reflection, for movement, for struggle and everything. But those 9 months are basically the time periods when we fought the Pakistanis and we have had a liberation war. I conclude by asking a question. Why the 26th March is the Independence Day? Why? Why it is not 1st April, or why it is not 1st January? Why it is 26th of March?
Come on, guys. Anyone?
Yes.
Yes, already.
I think it's because on the 26th of March is when the fighting actually began.
Mhm.
So that's why Independence Day is the 26th of March.
Exactly. I mean, actually what happens that on the 25th of March, there are lots of atrocities in the whole of Bangladesh. Actually, Pakistani soldiers basically started their atrocities on 25th of March, the night of 25th of March. On the very night, at late night, the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, declared independence. And that declaration actually started the 9-month liberation war. And that is why 26th March is our Independence Day, because that is the day when the independence and secession from Pakistan was declared.
Just in summary, then, guys, for you kids, is the way we have been treated as East Pakistan at that time, that our shoulder was pushed against the wall. There was no way that you could have sustained those kind of pressure. And this pressure was political pressure, cultural pressure. It was the pressure about the geography, about the demography, and it's about your own thought and being yourself, being as a country, as a nation. So everything was under threat, and we couldn't take this anymore. And that is the day on 26th of March. It was announced that, okay, we can't take it anymore. We'll have to fight against Pakistan. That's the day that announcement came through from Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And then he started doing this fight. And it's been lasted for 9 months. And on 16th of December, it's all ended, where the surrender has taken place. Then we become our own country, our very own country, our loving country, Bangladesh. Okay. Now, and wherever we go, we're proud to say, I am a Bangladeshi. That's my identity. And I'm sure that you guys are staying here, being a Londoner in a sense, but at the same time, you always talk about back home, the culturally back home. You speak Bangla at home. You eat Bangla at home as well. I would say eat Bangla. What I mean by that is the food, the culture that we have, all in Bangla. Because Bangla is around us. And how much do you know about the country, and how do you actually move on? My next question, if I can move on. So we learned about the Independence Day and the Bijoy Diwas. What is the difference? And why do you think it's important that we celebrate those days? What is the need? What is the need for us to celebrate those days? Anyone? Adrita?
To remember those people who sacrificed their life for our country.
Good, very good. So remembering those people who sacrificed their life for our country, rather than saying that those people who sacrificed our life, is there any other word that you can actually say to explain, to talk about those people? It can be one word in Bangla.
Soldiers.
We don't say soldiers, but you're right, they did fight. They didn't have any proper training. We don't say soldiers. Any other word? Anyone? Rather than saying those people that sacrificed their life, they did. Yes, Rio.
Are they the Mukti
That's
Jones?
right. Mukti Jodha. মুক্তিযোদ্ধা, it's a freedom fighters in Bangladesh. Okay, তাদেরকে সেলিব্রেট করার জন্য তাদের যে কষ্ট ছিল, the way they did fight against those people, and it's not only them, it's the suffering for the kids, it's the suffering for the females at home, and the female, those who were tortured, and it was a massacre. Okay, but we'll be talking about that as well. So yes, you're right. Now the next thing I would say though is
and in between, Upal, I think you started a very nice discussion on the whole question of identity. I mean, the country is our identity, and we are proud Bengalis from the ethnic point of view, and Bangladeshis from a citizen's point of view. And I think in terms of the identities in the country, we also celebrate and remember our ancestors. Bangladesh has a long tradition, long heritage. Even though it was born in 1971, it has a rich history, a very rich tradition. So all the people who came before us and were part of different movements against the British, against the Pakistanis, and even before that, all of them are our forefathers or our ancestors. So we also celebrate those people, those movements, those struggles during all the days that Upal has mentioned. We remember all of them too.
Thank you. And okay, before I even move on, a quick question is about, I know that 24 people are watching right now, and those who are watching, with respect, if you have any question, any ideas for our children here, you can post it on the comment section and I'll pick them up. So please do. If you have any questions, any comments, please put them up in here. Right, so let's move on. Quickly going to talk about then Bijoyphool. You can see that on this screen, on the top right logo is the Bijoyphool, and you can see the many other Bijoyphools within the system. Can you tell me, what do you think the Bijoyphool is about, and what does it symbolize? I'll come to Reean for this. Yes, Reean.
So the Bijoyphool has symbolizes many concepts. Among them, you could say the sun. The flower itself represents the sun.
Sorry, Reean, I think you're
by the Pakistani troops. And you notice in the flower that there are 5 petals.
Reean, you kept on cutting off.
Hello?
Yes, he kept on cutting off. So we did hear half of what he said. Didn't start again, boy. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Hello, Reean.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Can you start again?
As I was saying, okay, so the flower itself, I believe, represents the sun, the horizon, you could say. And the red in the middle represents the bloodshed by the Pakistani troops. And the 5 petals represents the religions. So you could say the Muslims, the Hindus, the Christians. I believe there's 2 more. And the 5 petals can also symbolize the 5 rules, the 5 beliefs that we have. And you could also say that the 5 petals also represents the 5 rivers that Bangladesh have, which is, I believe, the Padma, the Meghna, the Jamuna, the Kornofuli, and the Brahmaputra.
Brahmaputra. Okay, well done. It's a lot.
I think it's quite important, we as a nation and people internationally, to carry on this legacy, because this is where we came from. We need to know where we came from in order to move forward, and it's quite important.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm sure I'm well done. Well done. You really explained it very well, that what is Bijoyphool is about, what does it actually represent, and you're talking about the religion, the belief, and the rivers that you have. You even mentioned the rivers. You get stuck on this religion of 3 of them, and then the other 2 are stuck. The girls and the other boy here, Rio, Aroni, Adrita, do you have any other ideas on that? about the Bijoyphool, what do you think it symbolizes? Do you think Reean covered everything, so you have nothing to say? Rio?
Wouldn't this event also give Bangladesh a proper name that we are strong, we are a community, and we are ready to help and fight for anything that we need for ourselves?
Good. So it symbolizes, in a sense, our background, isn't it? Our history of it. Okay, and because the history, it lays out the steps for the future, and we step on any of those. Selim Bhai, I have a question for you.
Sure.
It's about the Bijoyphool. We know that the Bijoyphool is a move. Those who are actually in a link with Bijoyphool have been working with Bijoyphool for many years now, so we are kind of okay with it. But if it's the next generation, and if anyone asks them what is Bijoyphool, let's say they're going to school, like they're wearing this Bijoyphool badge on their penis is pinned in, and they're going to school, and someone is asking them what is it, what does it actually represent? In a short, concise statement, what do you think they can actually tell people?
Exactly. I think that's very important. I mean, if I'm asked to provide one liner on what Bijoyphool is, my take would be that Bijoyphool is a kind of a commemoration of our struggle, of our victory, and it is also a kind of a symbol to show our respect to our freedom fighters. So we commemorate our struggle, our victory, but we also use Bijoyphool to show our respect to our freedom fighters. I mean, if you look at Bijoyphool, it's very, very much linked or very much like the poppy in the UK, because the poppy is also a commemoration of those who have sacrificed their lives during the First World War. And through that poppy, they also show respect for those who have sacrificed their lives. But at the same time, they also remember the First World War. One of the questions that Bulbul asked, the Upal asked, and you responded, what is the significance of different days? I think the different days, whether it's the 16th of December or 26th of March, one is remembrance, of course. We remember those who have sacrificed their lives. We remember our struggle. We remember those who have guided us, who have led us. But it is also true that these are the days from which we derive energy. We derive something to move forward. So it's not only backward looking in terms of history, in terms of remembrance, but it is also forward looking because you derive energy, you derive vision, you derive lots of new things so that you can move forward. I think that's important to remember when we observe these days.
Thank you. Thank you, Selim. That's very clear. So, guys, as we said, summarizing again, three things: respect for our freedom fighters. Number 2 was a struggle, and number 3 was the victory. Okay, them three are the main symbols. If it's a one-sentence answer, if you want to give someone about the Bijoyphool, and I would expect that in the month of December, you guys would be definitely wearing this Bijoyphool and take it forward, spread the word. Now, if you go to Bijoyphool website, it's a very clear and simple website that has the meaning of this Bijoyphool, some background of it, and even how can you make this at home, this Bijoyphool at home. So it is very clear. There's some video lessons as well. So how do you make it? What do you talk about? So it is very important that you sometime visit Bijoyphool website and months, and that's very clear. I will have to read some of these comments. Right, it's a big thing today. Reean, happy birthday, boy.
Reean, happy birthday, Reean.
Oh God, Reean is gone. Reean, are you here?
Did we embarrass him?
He's cut off with this. But I just want to say happy birthday, Reean, and the Reean is gone within this time. So well done, Reean. And people have been saying that the answer that he gave about the 5 petals and the circle, the red circles in the middle, what do they represent? What do they symbolize? People are overwhelmed. So well done to you. Now, I have a question from foreigners, and the question is, let me see if I can get that. Now, this question is open for all 3 of you now, because Reean is not here. I'm sure he'll be joining in. This question, are you ready for this? When these children refer to them as British Bangladeshi, what do they feel or think they're being British Bangladeshi? So when we said you are British Bangladeshi or British Bengali, how do you feel? What does it mean to you? Guys, again, it's very open-ended. There is no right, wrong answer. We are
Exactly.
trying to get some ideas from our generation, next generation here. So when we refer you as a British Bangladeshi, what does it really mean? While you're thinking, I can give you some differences there. Now, at this point, I'm also British Bangladeshi, but most of my time I spend in Bangladesh. So when you go out and just to sit down with my friends and so on, my favorite food would be going into a local hotel. That's what we used to call them, hotel or restaurant, not like in a hotel that we people stay. So it's a very simple hotel, just like next to the road. And I'll have shingara and cha with my friends. That's my culture. That's me. Okay. Or in the morning, I can go to hotel, have some parota and bhaji. That's my Bengali identity that tells me on that. But I know that some of you guys are not really fond of it. It can be something different. For an example, okay, chicken and chips maybe. Now that is also a difference between the British values and the Bengali values. I'm just giving a very simple example. But when we point finger at you, not in a negative way, in a positive way of thinking, these are our British Bengalis, British Bangladeshis. What do you think about yourself on that? Okay, I'll come to Aroni later. Rio, you go first, boy.
I think it makes me feel very original because in my school that I go to now, there's not many Bengalis. Apart from me, obviously, there's maybe around 3 other Bengalis. So it makes me feel like I'm one of, it makes me have a close relationship with those other Bengalis, and I can really share my ideas with them as well because we have the same culture, we eat the same food nearly,
Yeah,
and we come from the same place.
yeah. It's good, very good. So you do have some similarities, some differences with the others, and you can see yourself within your background and identity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Great. And Aroni, what did you want to say?
I agree with Rio on what he said, and I think also being born in Bangladesh as well, but I grew up in England. It's where I studied. It's where I've lived my whole entire life. So I think I don't really know how to feel about it, but because I love eating Bengali khabar, it's I love eating it, and it's just I don't know how to put it into words, but
yeah, I understand what you say.
I think
Yeah.
Upal, I think I'm the only one who is not a British Bangladeshi. I mean, you are British Bangladeshi coming from different generations. But let me then share my thoughts with you.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
being a British Bangladeshi is a privilege. You are part of a global citizenry, and you are a global citizen. You have Bangladeshi heritage, you also have British heritage. And in you, the best would be to assimilate and maximize the good things from both the cultures. When we talk about the Bangladeshi culture or Bangladeshi life, yes, food is one part of it, but the whole question of camaraderie, the whole question of collectiveness, the whole question of, for example, showing respect to each other, that kind of thing, which is very common in Bangladesh, that should be part of your identity. Similarly, as a British, you should also own the good values of British life, the British politics, the whole British way of thinking, the issue of democracy, the issue of self-respect and mutual respect, the issue of, for example, patriotism, that should come from both Britain and Bangladesh. So I think you are in a very special position where you have a chance and a choice to assimilate the good things from both the cultures. And I think by doing it, you are actually enriching yourself, you are enriching both Britain as well as in Bangladesh, and you are enriching a bright future. So I don't think there is any kind of tension between a British and a Bangladeshi. Sometimes you face lots of questions or trade-off kind of issues, but at the end of the day, you should always think yourself as a British Bangladeshi that I am basically the assimilation of good things from both the cultures from both the traditions.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. That was very clear. Kids, I'm sure you find it very useful. Reean, you are cut off. Just to say, we all screamed happy birthday for you today. So happy birthday,
Oh,
Reean.
thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
cut off. The number of people on the screen, I can see that they're saying, "Well done, Reean. Happy birthday, Reean." So it's about you. I can see is there. We have one more question from Wafiq to Selim bhai, to you.
Yeah.
Is how many countries like Bangladesh celebrate the tradition of Bijoyphool or even the Bijoy Dibosh?
I think the Bijoy Dibosh is celebrated in every country, more or less, because we have embassies in almost all over the world, and there are Bangladeshis who live abroad almost everywhere. So the Bijoy Dibosh is celebrated in every country, in every capital. As far as Bijoyphool is concerned, to the best of my knowledge, it is celebrated in more than a dozen capitals. I mean, I can name some of them. It is celebrated, of course, in London. It is celebrated in New York, in Brussels, in Paris, in Berlin, and so on and so forth. So I think the whole Bijoyphool movement is spreading in different parts of the world. And as British Bangladeshis, you also have a responsibility to take the message of Bijoyphool to your friends wherever you go, because through that you can actually represent Bangladesh to others. You can talk about your tradition, your culture, your literature to other people. The Bijoyphool is a very agile and a flexible instrument, and I think you should think among yourselves as to how innovatively and how creatively you can use this instrument for our liberation, war, our independence, and the whole of Bangladesh.
Thank you, Selim bhai. Right, we'll try something new. We're going to move on from that discussion here now. Guys, again, those who are watching, if you have any question, please do put up questions on your comment section so we can take it. And okay, I'm trying a new feature, see if I can share my screen or not. So if you can see it, can you tell me that yes, you can see my screen? Got it. So is there. Right, guys, can you see my screen?
We can see it.
Great. Now, obviously, I can't see you now anymore. Okay, because the whole of my screen is this picture here. Right. Or Adrita, sorry, can you tell me what do you think this picture is showing?
It's the Bangladesh flag.
It's a Bangladesh flag. Well done. And what do you is representing?
It's just the Bangladesh flag. It shows the green symbolizes the land and the red symbolizes the blood.
So the red is showing you the blood, and the green is showing you the land here. So land and the blood was there to. Okay, it was mainly that. Okay, right. Got some ideas there, and I'm just going to show you something else. And what do you think about this? So going into this, right? So this is the flag again, and it's in Bangladesh map. Adrita, I know that it is your drawing. You sent it to me. Do you not tell me a bit more about this picture that you did draw? What made you to think about drawing this picture, and what do you think it signifies? So on.
I just drew where I came from and how I love my dish and what it means to me.
Right. Okay, so it signifies your country and so on. Okay, right. Before that, though, there was a Bangladesh. The flag. Wait. Okay, let me see if I can find this picture. I should have been prepared. I'm not. This was this was the map. Sorry, this was the flag of Bangladesh, national flag of Bangladesh before. So this green flag with the red marking, and inside is the map of our country. This was the flag, and then gradually it evolved and it came out. So it just has to be a green and the red one. Selim bhai, my question to you, that again in this country, when we go to school, we talk about our flag, our identity, and so on. We normally get this sort of questions. What is the significance of this map? What is the significance of this flag of your country? What do you think is the best way to explain so that our kids can symbolize it to other people?
Great. I think, was it Aroni or Adrita who answered that question? And if you look at the flag, the green is, of course, the greenery of Bangladesh. Our country is very green. So it represents that. The red, as Adrita has said, actually represents the blood of our freedom fighters. But the red is also a rising sun. So it also represents hope. Can you tell me whether there is another flag in the world where there is a rising sun? Exactly like no, Paul. Okay, Rio. I think you.
Wouldn't Japan?
Exactly, that's Japan, and the background is white. The white represents peace. So our flag represents the green part, the greenery of Bangladesh, the vitality of our nation. The red part is, of course, our sacrifice, the sun, but also the rising sun, the potential. The flag was first designed. Let me just spend about 2 to 3 minutes to tell you about the flag.
Background,
the flag was first designed on 6th of June, 1970. So it was before we started the Liberation War. And it was first designed by a student leader, Shiv Narayan Das. So he was the first one who designed it way before we started the Liberation War. And then the flag was first hoisted. As you know that the Awami League won 169 seats in the parliament, which is called National Assembly. And then the meeting of the assembly was banned and was postponed on 1st of March, 1971. And the whole country exploded with protests and everything. The first flag of Bangladesh was hoisted on the 2nd of March in Dhaka University. So it was hoisted by one of the student leaders, ASM Abdul Rab, on the arts faculty of Dhaka University. I'm very fortunate to be there when it was first hoisted. And as Upal was showing, in the initial flag, there was a map in the red sun. But then as we moved on it, we found out that different people have drawn the map differently. So you cannot misrepresent your map, actually. So it was decided to remove the map because in a way, people are drawing it differently and it's a political issue. At the same time, you are misrepresenting your land and everything. So after independence in 1972, when the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, returned home, he decided to take away the map. And one of the prominent artists of Bangladesh, Kamrul Hassan, was given to finalize the design of the flag, as well as to basically decide on the shade of the color of green and red. As you can see, the green is bottle green. It is not simple green. And the red is also not crimson red, but blood red. So Kamrul Hassan actually designed the flag that we hoist today, we see all around us, and it was approved in 1972. So that was the history of flag. And I think when we talk about flag, which is a symbol of our independence, symbol of our sovereignty, symbol of our struggle, we should also know the history of it, right?
Great, thank you. Guys, I think we do know about the flag now and the history of it and how has it evolved. Now, see, so far, many of you, and I know that those who are watching this show today, even you guys, didn't know much about the flag. We take things for granted. This is my country, this is my flag, and that's it. It's red and green. But there is a history behind it. There is a huge amount of effort that was put in, and then the blood and the love and the cultural freedom and everything that went onto this flag. Okay, there's a lots of huge, really, what is it called? The rich background that you have behind the background of this flag. So we learned about it now. So thank you, Selim bhai. I'm going to take one more comment. Is from again Farnaz, and what she was saying that Bijoyphool is celebrated in most of the European countries by the Bangladeshi origin, such as Spain, Portugal, Italy, Germany, France, Sweden, and definitely in many parts of Bangladesh. Gradually, it also started being celebrated by many individuals across the globe. So most of the European countries, we are celebrating it. In Bangladesh, they started, and it is going to spread on to the others. Selim bhai, I must have to read one more comment. Is Selim Jahane Mugdho Bijoyphool Tottho Somriddho. So it was a lot of information that you have. You are a kind of running bank for us, the knowledge bank, and the think tank in a sense, and giving us all these ideas. So thank you. I'm really looking at the time. It's 5:10. I don't think you have many more time left, or much time left here. I'm just going to show you some of the pictures. Going to take it further and going for one more quiz. Again, this quiz, anyone can answer. I'm sharing my screen, so I'll be blind again, so I don't know what I'm showing you, but I'm showing you this, okay? Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, great. Now, my question to you, what do you think this monument is representing? If you know the name, if you know the significance, if you know what is it representing, if you know where it is, anything that you know about this. Right, can I have your show hands, please? Anyone? Oh, sorry, I can't see you. So it can't be showing. Can you check? Whoever wants to answer, can you just shout out, please? Sorry.
It's the
This
Shriti
is called
Shudo.
Siti Shodho. Okay, right. Is that Adrita? Yeah, okay, good. It's Sriti Shodho.
Yeah.
And what do you think that Sriti Shodho represents?
It represents to remember the people who sacrificed their life.
So you're talking about freedom
fighters.
fighters. Okay, so freedom fighters that sacrificed their life. Okay, got some ideas there. Anything else from anyone? Reean?
Yeah, just like Adrita said, I think it just represents the martyrs who unfortunately passed their lives during the war. And I think it's the national monument of Bangladesh, and it's quite important because we as a nation can look at this monument and remember our background, remember our past, and so it can help us to once
Well
again move
explained,
forward.
Reean. Well done. Rio, do you know where it is situated? Any idea at all? It's okay if you don't have any.
Very near to Dhaka city. No?
Okay,
The
right.
Saga.
Savar, yes.
Sabah, yeah, well done. Well done. Sabah, yeah. Right, okay. Selim bhai, we'll have to come to your knowledge and expertise on that again, please.
Okay,
If you
sure.
can tell us about this national monument that you have,
Right.
Sriti Shodho, that's
Yeah.
in near Dhaka in Shava. And
Exactly.
what is it representing?
Yeah. I think as Reean has said, this is the Martyrs Monument. It started in 1978 and was finished in 1982. The architect of this monument is Sayyid Moinul Hassan. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this monument. Even though from far, and the picture which Upal has shown, it seemed to be one structure. It is not. In fact, there are 7 triangular prism-like walls, and you can call them pillars, you can call them walls. And each wall is disconnected from each other. There's no connection, no attachment, and none of the walls are attached to each other. Now, if you look at it, the outer walls, the triangular prism-like outer walls, their width is quite big, but their height is short. If you go to the inner walls, their width is short and they are very high. Now, why there are 7 pillars? The 7 pillars actually represent 7 movements which started in 1948 and ended in 1971. The language movement in 1952, the autonomy movement in 1954, the constitution movement in 1956. Would you believe that Pakistan did not have a constitution till 1956? Let me ask you, does Great Britain have a constitution? Okay, think about it. So the constitution movement in 1956, the student movement in 1962, the 6-point movement in 1966, the mass movement in 1969, and the ultimate liberation war in 1971. So those 7 movements are reflective in those 7 walls that you see, number 1. Number 2, those 7 walls also represent 7 Bir Shreshthas who have sacrificed their lives. I mean, those are basically people who have done the ultimate sacrifice. And Bir Shreshthas are the highest military honor that can be bestowed on any Bangladeshi. Bir Shrestha Mohiuddin Jahangir, those of you who have gone to Dhaka, you have seen a kind of a gate entering the cantonment. So those 7 Bir Shreshthas. My last point is, if you look at from a distance, or if you look at Upal's picture, you have an optical illusion. And the optical illusion is that all the walls are held together. So therefore, that optical illusion also gives you a kind of an understanding that we are collectively interactive, we are interconnected with each other. So it also shows the collective strength of the Bengali nation. So that's the significance, that's the history of Jatiyo Sriti Shoudho at Savar.
Thank you, Selim bhai. The technical team, if I can have my my screen, because I'm sharing a screen while Selim bhai was explaining. So this is, yeah, there you go. So in a full screen, I think this is what Selim bhai was actually telling us. This is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This was also I was building at the same time. So it wasn't completed at that time. And you can see this picture here. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pillars and 7 walls at different level. And when you look at it from different angle, then it does look like that optical illusion, as Selim uncle was saying, that it does look like a different structure. But actually 7 walls, they're like this. As you go around, it looks different to you because you're looking at it from different angle. Right. Guys, any question? Do you have any question at all? Looks like I'm doing the most of the talking. I'm a teacher. I keep on talking. I don't know how to stop. So you guys need to ask questions. Yes, Reean, go on.
Why do you think it's important that not only British Bangladeshis should support the values of the Bijoyphool?
I think it is important for all of us. Those of us who have our roots in Bangladesh, it is important to uphold the Bijoyphool, because the Bijoyphool, as you know, that this is there's nothing, it's not a real flower. Poppy is a real flower, but not the Bijoyphool. It's a symbolic flower. And through this symbolic flower, we try to remember our struggle. We try to remember and celebrate victory. And at the same time, we show our respect to all the martyrs who have sacrificed their lives in our independence movement. And on the Sriti Show, there are two other things. One is that it is 150 feet high. And second is when you actually stand in between two walls and look up, you can see the sky. And there are walls on both of your sides, but you can see the sky on your head. So it gives you a kind of a understanding of the enjoyment of freedom, the joy of freedom. You are free when you look up, but then you have been under the cages of Pakistan for 25 years. And next time when you go to Dhaka, try to see it from the plane. You will have absolutely a gorgeous view of our Sriti Shodha.
I will indeed.
I was going to say, when you go to Bangladesh next time, I didn't think about this plane idea, but it is important that if you go and visit some of these historic places, because this is our root. This is where you are coming. This is where you came from. Your parents came from. There was a time that your grandparents, your great grandparents, moved into this land. Yes, today we have been shifted, but this is your history, the glorious history that we have. And today is built on the glorious previous history that we have. So it is important that we know about our roots. So next time if you go to Bangladesh, I think tell your parent that if you have any chance to go around. Rio, was your hand up, boy?
It was. I had a question.
Yes, go on, boy.
So when you actually look at the Bangladesh flag, some might notice that the red circle, which represents the blood, it's not exactly in the middle of the flag. So I was just wondering if there's any explanation for that and why it's not in the middle.
No, I'm not aware of it. I am not sure what is the explanation. Maybe if you Google it or try to find it out. But it is supposed to be, it cannot be at the middle, because you see what happens with the flag is that it is actually tied to a pole. And as it is tied to a pole, when you see it tied to a pole and the photo of it, the sun may not be seeming to be at the middle, but it is supposed to be at the middle. So sometimes because the way we hoist it or the way we just put it up, it may be a little bit, it's again an optical illusion, it may be a little bit on the side, but it should be at the middle.
Oh, okay. All right, that answers the question.
Thank you. কয়েকটা কমেন্ট নিয়ে নিচ্ছি। ফারহানা আলম বলছে অনেক ধন্যবাদ সেলিম ভাই, বাচ্চাদের সাথে সাথে আমাদের জানারও অনেক সুযোগ হলো। আসমা ফেরদৌসি বলছে সুন্দর একটা আয়োজন বাচ্চাদের জন্য। কারি মদিনা রাহি উনি বলছেন নতুন প্রজন্মের দেশপ্রেম সদা সতেজ থাকুক, ব্যতিক্রমী প্রোগ্রাম সত্যি চমৎকার। বিজয় ফুলের পুরো টিমকে ধন্যবাদ, স্বপ্নদ্রষ্টা শামীম আজাদকে অনেক অনেক শুভেচ্ছা। Sriti Ajad Bolchan, thank you, dear Selim Bhai, for giving children a clear idea of the history of Bangladesh. হেমায়েত হারুন উনি বলছেন আমরা কি আমাদের জাতীয় পতাকার লাল ও সবুজ রং দুটিকে এই একইভাবে সিম্বলাইজ করতে পারি? লাল রংটি হচ্ছে আমাদের মুক্তিযোদ্ধা ভাইয়ের বুকের রক্ত, আর সবুজ রংটি হচ্ছে আমাদের ধর্ষিতা বোনের হবে, আই থিঙ্ক বোনের শাড়ির আঁচল। আসলে হেমায়েত ভাই এই ডিসকাশনটা হয়তো বা অন্য একটা প্রোগ্রামে আমরা করব। এটা বাচ্চাদের প্রোগ্রাম, তো আমরা ওইটুকুর মধ্যে একটু সীমাবদ্ধ থাকি, বাট আপনার কথার যুক্তি আছে, আমরা হয়তো এটা নিয়ে পরে কখনো কোনো একটা প্রোগ্রামে কথা বলবো। আরো অনেক কমেন্ট আছে, বাট আমি অ্যাট দ্য সেম টাইম সময়ের দিকে দেখছি 53 মিনিট হয়ে গেছে প্রোগ্রাম, আমাদের শেষ করতে হবে উইদিন 10 মিনিটস ইফ পসিবল। তো আমি আরেকটা শেয়ারিং স্ক্রিনে চলে যাচ্ছি। সম্ভবত that would be our last discussion point. So guys, question time. So if anyone can tell me, what do you think this monument is representing? And I'm blind again, I cannot see your hand. Selim bhai, I'll have to rely on you. If you can see it, Selim bhai, then this is
actually my screen is, most of my screen is taken up by your photo, but I'm seeing Rio, I'm seeing Aroni and Adrita, and I'm also seeing a little bit of yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
I think this monument in Bangladesh represents the Bodh Dharmi, where like all the intelligent people of Bangladesh have unfortunately died, and their bodies have been placed over there.
Okay, good. Okay, Reean, you do know a few things. Now, my question is now two things. It can be quite contradictory, but I'm going to ask you this question anyway. Okay, and anyone can answer this question to me. Answer to me. Sorry. What is the difference between killed, or murdered, or died? So, murdered or died. What is the difference, or is there any difference? You can just give me some explanation from the dictionary as well. So you said, Reean, these people died, and
In fact, they were killed. I should have said.
I'm not trying to correct you. I'm not trying to get the words out of your mouth. I have no intention, but my intention is to understand the difference between killed and died. Anyone?
I think to die is where you're essentially your cause of death is different to being killed, where something directly causes you to die. So, say for example, an object killing the another object, that's something being killed. Whereas if you die, you're not necessarily being like murdered in such way. You're instead indirectly caused to pain.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Very good. Now, I understand that, and the difference is that died. Everyone dies. Any living thing will die anyway. Okay. We're not going to go to this extraterrestrial discussion on that, but the fact is, it's been killed, and someone just died, and someone can be another word. It starts with M. Can anyone tell me? This is what we say to. Yes, Rio.
Is it murdered?
Yes, murdered, but we don't represent these people. When we talk about these people, we said, yeah, they've been murdered, they've been killed, and they died, unfortunately. But there is another word that he used to explain when we talk about these people with respect that starts with M. The word starts with M.
Mutti Jones?
In English. M,
Sorry.
then A.
Massacred.
Then R. M-A-R.
Martyrs.
Good. Well done, martyrs. Yeah. And how do you say this word martyrs in Bangla?
Mutti Jones.
No, it's not Mukti Jones, boy. You've been saying it for a long time. It's Mukti Jodha. They are the freedom fighters, Mukti Jodha. But উনারা কিন্তু বদ্ধভূমিতে যা হয়েছিল ওনারা কিন্তু মুক্তিযোদ্ধা ছিলেন না এক সেন্সে, বাট ওনাদের কন্ট্রিবিউশনটা আমি বলবো, সেলিম ভাই ডেফিনেটলি বলবেন. So yes, Rio, yes, I can see you're very happy. Tell me, so martyrs, how do you say it in Bangla?
To be honest, I'm not quite sure.
Okay, that's fine. Aroni, Adrita?
I don't really know either.
Okay, we start by saying is sho. The first letter pronounced like sho. Then he. Shohi. Does it ring any bell?
Shohid.
Well done, boy. Good. Shohid. Okay. Now, so there is a meaning for shohid. So রায়ের বদ্ধভূমি নিয়ে রিয়ান তুমি অনেক কিছুই বলেছো, খুব ভালো লাগছে. তোমাদের আর কারো কি কোনো আইডিয়া আছে রায়ের বাজার নিয়ে আসলে কি হয়েছিল, ওটা কবে হয়েছিল, বা what was the significance? Yes, Aroni.
I know this at Rai Bajar, it happened on the 14th of December 1971.
Yeah.
And over 200 intellectuals of Bangladesh were killed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know that.
And do you know any intention? Adrita, why do you think these people were murdered, killed, or martyred? Why was it?
Because
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, let me tell you. This is about specific 200 people. So specific 200 people, those who are killed, planned, and they were killed for a reason. And look at the significance of this date. This was on 14th of December and our victory was on 16th of December. Try to make the link in here. 14th of December, 200 people, those who are intellectual, they were killed. And on 16th of December, we declared our victory. So why do you think they did it on that night, those specific 200 people? Any reason, Adrita? What do you think? It's just open thinking.
Because they were smart.
Yeah.
And they were.
If we kill those smart people, then what would happen?
Then people will feel bad.
Okay.
Progress.
And yes, Reean, what are you saying?
The country won't be able to progress.
Why do you think the country will not be able to progress?
Because if you think about it, if you had your intellectual people, the people with authority and with the brains dead, the country won't be able to develop and progress and move forward.
As much as they wanted to.
You need them for the economy to build, and many other socially build, environmentally build, and economically build.
Reean, I think you should be on our expert panel today. Yeah, not on that as a guest. Well done, Rio and Aroni. If you do have any question about the Raya Bajar Bodhbhumi, you can ask Selim Nanabhai for this. Or if you don't have any question, then I'll we'll go to Selim Jahan Bhai to explain some of the features. So, do you have any question, Rio and Aroni, or anyone?
Not really. I don't have any questions.
Okay, Aroni.
No, I don't really have any questions either.
Selim Bhai, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Upal. I think Reean has put his finger at the right spot. First of all, let me make just 5 points. The first of all, we know that different people in a society do different work. They have different jobs. Farmers grow food, teachers teach, nurses provide nursing services, and so on and so forth. The importance of intelligentsia or intellectuals is that they provide the kind of intellectual leadership to the people. As Reean was saying, that the Pakistanis knew it very well, that if they can kill the intellectuals, they will cripple the society. The society will not move forward, not only economically, but also in terms of thoughts, in terms of literature, in terms of, for example, journalism. All the creative things would come to a stall. So that was part of their plan, that they would cripple the Bangladesh society by killing those people. So that was the motive behind killing those people. Second, even though it happened on 14th of December, actually the blueprint of it was done in June 1971. And you should remember this name. One of the generals who was in Dhaka, the Pakistani general who was in Dhaka at that point in time, was the mastermind behind it. And his name is Rao Farman Ali. So the Rao Farman Ali was the mastermind. And after Bangladesh became independent, a diary was discovered from his office where he had the list of these intellectuals who were killed later on 14th of December. And he was so meticulous that it is not only the names of those people, where do they live, their addresses, and in some cases, even telephone numbers were listed on that diary. That is the second point. And the third point is that, as Upal was saying, why they were picked on the 14th of December. Because by 14th of December, it became clear, it became quite clear that Pakistan will have to surrender. They have no way out, and Bangladesh should be independent. So on the brink of that independence, they actually massacred these people. My fourth point is the actual execution of this operation was not carried out by Pakistanis. It was carried out by paramilitia groups which were created by the Pakistani generals. And lots of the people of these paramilitia groups were university students, the students of those teachers whom they have picked up. So I think it is important to understand that in any war, you may have a foreign troop, but it always comes to the local people who actually collaborate with those troops and then do damages to your own society. Those people, those intelligentsia, that's my fifth point, were picked up from their houses, one by one, carefully selected, in a van which had mud all over the place so that it could not be detected. And when they approached those teachers on those homes, sometimes they just said, well, we have come to take sir for something, we'll return him as soon as possible. That was the tagline for them. And then they were basically tied up, put in that van, and were taken to Raya Bazaar, which is very close to Dhaka, and then they were killed. As far as that monument is concerned, a number of children of those people in 1991 created what is called Projanmo 71 or Generation 71. Actually, they demanded to have a kind of a monument there. Their work has started in 1996 and the monument was created in 1999. Now, a footnote. There is another intellectual martyrs monument in Mirpur, which is a little bit far away from Dhaka. And the thing is that when they killed these people in Raya Bazaar, and after 2 or 3 days, after 16th of December, in fact, actually on 18th of December, when the children, the spouses, the friends of these teachers, journalists went to Raya Bazaar, some of the bodies could be identified. Some of the bodies could not be identified. And some of the bodies were not found at all. So the bodies which could be identified, some of the bodies were taken up and were buried in Mirpur. So as a result, the Mirpur also has a monument over there. So that's the history of the monument. The Raya Bazaar monument was designed by two architects. One is Wahiduzzaman Rahman and Jami Al-Shafi. The monument in Mirpur was created in 1972 when the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was alive, and it was created or constructed by his directive. It was designed by Mustafa Jahir.
Thank you. That was lots of information. And guys, now you can see that the Liberation War, it was kind of started from 26th of March, and then 16th of December, we had the victory. In between, what happened, before that, what happened, and after that, what happened, all of them have significance. And as I said, history, they lay out the bricks, they lay out the stones and the stepping stones for every step. So it is important that we do know our country. Today was the starting point. I'm just really looking at the time. So it's now 1 hour, 8 minutes. So we'll be finishing off really quickly. So I would say well done to all of you today, the kids, boys and girls. And this is just a starting point. And I'd really like to celebrate your attendance here today as your history makers. So this was the kind of first program where we talked about some history, some background, some monuments that we have and what symbolizes all of them. And I would say people like you should be looking into this a bit more detail. Because of timing, we didn't have enough time to cover as many things as we wanted to show, as many things as we wanted to discuss. So if you just type in, go onto Google, type in the Bijoy Dibosh, then you'll get lots of literature there, lots of pictures there. If you type in monuments in Bangladesh, you will see loads of them. And again, sometime, you're on the game. Yes, when you're free, you're on the game, you're on your phone, you're watching telly, you're reading books, that's all good. But at the same time, knowing your background, so spending some time, okay, maybe throughout the whole holiday, spending 3-4 hours on that, so knowing your background, maybe asking your parent, get involved, talk to them. If you have any relatives, any older people that you know, talk to them. The reason I'm telling you, because I'm going to come to the end of this program here, is we learned about Mukti Juddha because when I was born in 1974, so I didn't actually see the freedom fight, the liberation war in 1971. I wasn't even born, so I don't know what happened. But I did hear lots of stories, lots of, shall I say stories, or shall I say the real life stories, experiences from my parent, from my grandparent, from my uncles and aunts, and people like Selim Nanavaya today is here. Okay, so we read lots of books, and there are a number of Mukti Yoddhas, the freedom fighters. They're still alive, and they are the knowledge bank. They actually fought in the front line. What is their experience is nowhere near when someone is telling you a story about the Mukti Yoddha, because they actually faced it day in, day out. So if you find someone, if you ask your parent, ask your parent if they know someone, then going to them, talking to them, getting some first-hand experience, then you will understand it more, you will value it more, what has actually happened on that time. So my question before we leave, guys, just to let you know, there's lots of comments. You will be up there. You can see this later. Ask your parents to show it, play it for you. And lots of comments for the kids, overwhelmed. You guys are the history makers today, because you are going to take this flag forward. Okay, time will come when the information has passed from somebody else to Selim Nanavai, from Selim Nanavai to us, and from us to you, and it's going to be passed on from you to your next generation. And if you don't know your history, what are you going to tell them? So this is why
I have I mean, just to not to interfere, but I have a question to each one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, in concrete, you have heard a lot of things. I mean, there are lots of information. You are well informed. You have read. You have listened to Upal. You have listened to your parents. Upal has also suggested to talk to our Mukti Yodhas or freedom fighters. Now, in very concrete terms, if I may ask you, and just give me a 1-minute answer, that in order to move forward, the whole notion of independence, our heritage, our culture, Bijoyphool, for that matter, what are you going to do? What would you do? Is there anything that is clicking in your head that this is what I am going to do for my country next year? Not now, not next week, but next year. You have the whole year to think about. But what are you going to do? If I may put that question to you, what would be your immediate answer?
So that would
be right or wrong, just what is ticking in your head.
Yeah. So this was the last question that I was going to ask everyone. So the question is, the most important things for you guys to consider here is, how can you contribute? What can you do to take this agenda forward? Okay. And it's to you guys and to your next generation. What can you do to promote our love, heritage, loyalty, and responsibility for our country? So in a nutshell, simple sentence, what can you do from the coming year so that we can take this agenda forward? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think.
Oh, there is a hand raised.
We'll just wait. Reean will wait. We'll wait for 30 seconds because other people need to think too. So what can you do differently to take this agenda forward from the coming year? You're talking about the love, loyalty, responsibility, heritage of our country, of the Victory Day, of the Bijoyphool, of the 9 months of struggle, of a country that was born Bangladesh. Right, okay, I'll go to Reean first.
As a British Bangladeshi living in the UK in this generation, I believe that it's important to spread the message, spread the Bijoyphool, and raise awareness that this is something important to us, and so we can progress, and so it's there for people to know and for people to appreciate and look at and saying, wow, these are the people who fought their lives for us. And yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me one concrete example. How are you going to do it? How?
Social media. You could through various poems, literature, and if like we can build so people can just know.
Okay.
How are you going to use that flower? I'm trying to grill you a little bit.
Just wearing the flower is one way to raise awareness. Wear it around when you're out in the streets, and so people physically go and ask you, saying, "Hey, man, what is that?"
Yeah.
And
Okay.
as we know now what the Bijoyphool is, we will explain to them, and so therefore the result is more people will know our culture.
Good.
More people will know our history.
Yeah, I mean, it starts from home, isn't it? It can start from home. So if you have any siblings, any friends coming over, you can start discussing with them and talk to them about Bijoyphool. So your point was raising awareness, and you do have some ideas that how can we actually raise the awareness of people there. Right, shall I come to you, Rio?
Yeah, I would say just spread the word to all your friends, maybe in school, to all your teachers, and just tell maybe the different races that in your school, because obviously in a school there's many different diversities. So if they know about Bijoyphool, maybe they can contribute. You guys can make like a little party for your school. You can open a fundraiser or something like that to just spread the word.
Yeah. Which will be much easier in some school where the number of Bengali students, British Bangladeshi students is quite a lot. For an example, some schools in Tower Hamlets, they have a number of British Bangladeshis. But as you said, in your school, there's only 3 or 4 Bangladeshis. So how do you think, if you want to promote this Bijoyphool or the history of our country in your school, then what do you think you can do?
Maybe you can teach your friends and maybe inform your teachers about what Bijoyphool is all about, how you celebrate it, what's the backstory behind everything.
Yeah. Or if your school has any international links, like an international day we celebrate, or anything international food that we celebrate, if we have any of those days like that, that can be a good day to inject these ideas of Bijoyphool to the others, to spread the words to the others. Okay, so well done. Thank you, Rio. Really good word. And Aroni, I know that Aroni Adrita, because I do know you personally, that you go to different schools. So Aroni Adrita, how can you spread these words? Sorry, what can you do to take this agenda forward? Remember, it's our loyalty, love, responsibility for our country. How do you take this forward? Adrita.
We can make presentations about the Bijoyphool and share them with our teachers and the whole school.
Good.
And tell
So
everyone
again, the
about
presentation and the school is the starting point, isn't it? Yeah. How about home is as a starting point when the people are coming over, friends are coming over, guests are coming over, maybe. Yeah.
I also think these programs that we do are really important because I think from today's program, a lot of people can learn about what we have discussed.
In fact, as I said, number of dates, number of issues that Selim Bhai discussed today. Even I didn't know some of this information. I mean, this was kind of eye-opening for me too, and is eye-openers for you, and I'm sure the eye-openers for many other people, those who are actually watching it. Perhaps the people, those who are watching, they know more than what has been discussed here. So I would say in future, if they come forward, if the kids are coming forward, that would be great. As I said, today is you guys are the history makers. You put your step on the first step on the ladder, and it's going to move on. Okay, how to take that now? So as I said, I know that you guys, none of you have Facebook account, I'm sure. Okay, this is too old. That's for the parent, that's for the dads and moms. All right. So you do guys, I can be sure that some of you have account on Instagram or Snapchat. Okay. Maybe when the month of December comes, on your account as a profile picture, you can just put the logo up there. That's one of the easy way to reach many people. People might say, what is it about? Right, so we're nearly going to finish the program. Selim bhai, from a few words for me before you go.
Okay, thank you. I think we have covered a lot. I'm really impressed by not only your commitment, your knowledge, and your hunger for learning more. That's very good. You also have concrete ideas as to how you can spread the words. Let me make two concrete suggestions. One is that um, in the month of February we will have 21st of February, and that would be our language day. Maybe if you can arrange something in your school on that, because it's also an International Mother Tongue Day. The UNESCO has also declared 21st February as the International Mother Tongue Day. So if you arrange something in your school, and if you make some Bijoyphool or you make Bijoyphool with your friends, and then you can discuss the liberation war, the whole contribution made by the freedom fighters, and using the Bijoyphool as an instrument, you can bring back the whole history of the language movement or liberation war. That's one occasion that you can do. The other one is in March, 26th of March, which is our Independence Day. Again, you can do something there. And if I am not mistaken, either Aroni or Adrita, you also sing, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's not only what you talk to your friends, but also choose a song, something on Bijoyphool or something about Bijoyphool, and then you can use that occasion on the 26th of March, our Independence Day, to spread the news, to spread the information. That way, I think you can also reach people who are not Bangladeshis, who are from other origins, and they would know about it. And maybe you would find that some other cultures also similar kind of initiatives, similar exercises, and that's the way we as global citizens would move forward in terms of humanity.
Yeah, thank you. Aroni or Adrita, both of them can sing.
Okay.
Both of these things, yeah. But they have some extra skills in there. But anyway, thank you guys. It was a brilliant. I think I really enjoyed that, talking to you guys, having an expert and having your questions. And I was trying to, being the middleman to pass it on to forward and backward. So that was really, really great experience for me. So before we finish, our engineer, who is working behind it, Upal, can I have everyone on the screen, please? Thank you. Right, thank you. Right, guys, now before we finish is the last thing. So well done to you guys. And can we have a big round of applause for Selim Nanavai, please?
Yeah, to all of us.
And a big round of applause for each of you, the history makers, for our futures.
And a big applause for Opu also for making it happen without any glitch.
That's right. And Upal is working at the background. That you have seen him right at the start of the show. He was sorting this out. A big clap for him. And one for me too. No one is saying about me. Thank you. Great. Okay. Right. That's all for today. In future, if you have any other programs, I know that I can count on you guys. Okay, so brilliant. Thank you. সবাইকে আবার শুভেচ্ছা জানাচ্ছি। দর্শক যারা ছিলেন আমাদের সাথে, আপনাদের জন্য অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আমি জানি সময়টা খুব কঠিন সময় চলছে আমাদের সবার জন্যই, করোনা নিয়ে, কোভিড-19 নিয়ে। তারপর আপনারা আমাদের সাথে আছেন, এই পুরো মাস জুড়েই ছিলেন বিজয়ফুলের সাথে। আপনাদেরকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ। আপনাদের কমেন্ট এন্ড কন্ট্রিবিউশন যে লেখাগুলো এখানে আছে, এরা বাচ্চারা পড়বে, এগুলো আসলে ওদেরকে অনেক দূর নিয়ে যাবে, আরো অনেক দূর নিয়ে যাবে। সো এনকারেজ করেছেন আপনারা, অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ। আশা করি ভবিষ্যতেও আরো প্রোগ্রামে আমরা আসবো, বাচ্চারাও আসবে এবং আপনারাও থাকবেন। আপনারাও সবাইকে কংগ্রেচুলেট করবেন, আপনারা সবাইকে আরো এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাবেন। So thank you very much. On that note, today I'm going to finish this program. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Uncle. I've had a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye.